Hello, how we doing? Thanks for coming back, or if you're new here, thanks for dropping by and having a wee look. If you like what you see, it'd be great if you could like and subscribe, and have a look at see what else there's currently on the channel, and hopefully see what's coming up in the future. And part of the reason for this video is to talk about that, and it all ties in to that picture of the late Jeremy Bullock that you just seen. That actual picture I just found in my garage a couple of days ago. I got it over 20 years ago at one of these Glasgow Comic Con things, held in the SECC, the kind of exhibition centre in Glasgow. It's went missing a couple of times now, I think. Just in the usual, moving houses and stuff packed in boxes, and you forget where things are. Anyway, the reason why it's getting brought up, or why I showed it there, is because it ties this video, or segues very nicely into this latest video. The reason how I found it is because I've been reorganising my garage. So as you can see behind me here, there's some kitchen cabinets without the doors at this point in time, right enough, but they've been screwed up onto the wall. I've got the doors there. They've come out my parents' house. They've just had a new kitchen installed, so I've managed to recycle these. I like to recycle stuff. So I've got them, a couple of other cabinets and stuff I want to put up, maximise my storage space on the walls. Gives me a bit more floor space and working area. My garage doubles up as my model studio, but also I store other stuff in it, the usual kids' bikes, kids' go-karts, lawnmowers, tools and fishing stuff. And I've got scuba diving equipment as well in here. That takes up a bit of space. So space is a premium in my garage, and I really needed to reorganise this place because it wasn't very well organised. It was messy. There's stuff in here that I really don't need to have. You know what it's like. You see something, you think, oh, don't throw that out, I'll keep that, I'll put it in the garage and I might use it one day. It never gets used. It lies gathered and stored on a shelf, and then the place ends up like a midden, basically. And if you've never heard that term before, it's a Scottish word that describes a mess, a really messy place. And that's what this place is. It's an absolute tip. Anyway, I digress. So the bench has gone quiet at the minute. There's no anything happening on the bench just now, primarily because it's full of stuff. More than usual. More than usual. You watch back the other videos and you'll see stuff everywhere anyway. So I'm concentrating my spare time rather than on models and actually getting the place ship shape. I have just recently finished doing a model, and I've done a YouTube video, or a video for YouTube for the channel, charting from the bare model right up to completion. At work, it's just over half an hour long, but I would definitely say it's worth a watch because it describes the process of painting this particular model. Now, I'm not going to say anything else on it because I have to be deliberately a bit clandestine here and a bit, because it's actually a present for somebody, and in the interests of integrity and respect for my client, I've decided to zip it on the off chance that the recipient finds out before Christmas. So that's all I'm saying on it. But the video will land on Christmas Day or Boxing Day, around about then anyway. And it's definitely going to be worth a watch, I think. When you see the finished product, you're like, how did that work? How did we go about doing that? So I talk about my process. It's not a particularly complex build or paint job. Have a look. You'll like it. Anyway, that's coming up Christmas time. and that should give me some time to actually get my finger out and get this place sorted out. But I'm doing this video as well, which is the other reason why Boba Fett appeared. Sorry, which is the other reason why Boba Fett appeared on the intro to this video, is because I can finally start looking at this Slave 1, or as Disney are calling it now, Boba Fett Starfighter. But yeah, listen, I'm not going to start complaining about the current state of Star Wars, because I'm just happy we're getting more Star Wars. Anyway, it doesn't actually tell you on the box what scale this is, but I believe in the description on Amazon, which is where I got it, it says 1/80 scale, so it's there or thereabouts. Decent size looking model, but we'll look at that in a second. A minute or two, we'll just talk through it. So that's the other part of, you know, this Boba Fett picture leading into the video. And just going back to the reorganising of the garage, excuse me, I make myself more space in here, and there's another reason for that. I'm not going to say too much about that just now either, because I'm only at the very early planning stages of this project. But once it's up and running, it's going to be a feature on YouTube as well. It will have its own series of videos, and I'm hoping that will bring in maybe some more viewers and stuff, some more people that will get interested and want to see what I'm doing here. And hopefully it'd be good actually if we can get them crossing over and actually, you know, maybe into some other modelling, whether it's, you know, aircraft, Star Wars or whatever, or, you know, people who do that, looking into these other areas of modelling. But, you know, let's get this place sorted first before we start getting all pie in the sky. Anyway, what was the other thing I wanted to... Yeah, so there was one other thing. I've been in contact with somebody chatting about models as well, and I'm hoping at some point we can bring another video to the channel that will shake things up and make things a wee bit different again, give another wee bit of variety, and again hopefully maybe bring in some other viewers, who knows. Anyway, so let's get this box open and we'll have a quick look at the actual sprues and stuff. I looked at this model for ages, and I was dying to see the inside of it, and there wasn't there are a few YouTube videos and stuff, but I just wanted a good look at it. I wanted to see it, and I thought I'll let people have a wee look into the box, and I'll have a wee chat about the MPC model and Round 2 Corporation, or whatever they're called, the parent company. But anyway, let's get into the guts of this thing. Hey, I hope you can all see that. So I'm not going to make this the usual boring unboxing. I'll try and keep it short and sweet. That being said, gorgeous artwork on the front. I think this is potentially one of Ralph McQuarrie's old concept designs. I might be wrong, I might be a million miles out, but it's certainly in the Ralph McQuarrie style, which I'm a really big admirer of Ralph McQuarrie's artwork, I'll have to say. I think I might have mentioned that a few times before. Anyway, so instructions, very basic, nothing too particularly complex there. I might even be able to work that out myself. So onto the sprue parts. Now, I've had this model for a few weeks now, quite a few weeks now, and I just want to cover some before we get stuck right into this. Where are these parts? Here, they're here. Right, now, these two parts here are also this part and this part here. See? Now, you might actually wonder, how's it get doublers? Well, the reason for that is, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see that on camera, but you'll see there's sort of score marks there and on there. These obviously don't have them. The reason for that is because when I unboxed it, when I actually opened the box, as I usually do with a model, I'll open it up, check all the parts are no damaged. And to be fair, this is the first time anything like that's ever actually happened to me where there's been damage. I think this has obviously happened in the factory. Obviously there's a lot of hot metal about, metal moulds and worn pipes and all this kind of stuff for the actual styrene itself to be piped into the tooled moulds, and it's came in contact with something here that's been hot and it's melted the plastic. Now, could I have repaired it? I probably could have with a wee bit of perseverance and farting about, but to be honest with you, I don't think I really should have to do that. You know, when you buy a new model kit straight out the box, you kind of expect that, you know, everything's there and it's all tickety-boo above board, you know. However, a quick email to the lovely people at Round 2, who, as I say, I think that's the parent company of MPC, was very, very useful, very, very helpful. Quick email, and I got an email back within a couple of hours to say, here's the link to the section on the website where you can actually register not a complaint, but you can register damaged parts, send us some photographs and a wee description of what the issue is, and we'll see what we can do. So obviously they've then came back to me and said, we will send you out the parts free of charge. Took 2 or 3 weeks, you know, but it's not the end of the world. It's the end of the day. They've done it. They've sorted it for me. It's came to Scotland from America, so you know it's not going to be an overnight service, really. Let's be honest. And I didn't have to pay a penny. I didn't have to shell out a single shekel, which was nice. I mean, again, coming back to that thing, you shouldn't really need to be, you know, everything in the box should be. But I absolutely cannot fault MPC or their parent company, Round 2, because they were absolutely spot on. They were really, really good. As I say, a quick email and it sorted everything out, a couple of photographs of it. So other than the 2 damaged parts on it, which I'll keep a hold of, and I'm sure I'll do something with them. I mean, they may be featuring as a bit of a kit bash for something else. I usually keep all my spare styrene parts for that very reason. But anyway, back to the actual model itself. We've got a wee Boba Fett here. There's a fair bit of flashing on him there, just for the moulding process, but nothing a wee hobby knife won't clean up. The actual general quality, the inside of the model doesn't look particularly hot, but then again, that's not the part that we see, is it? Let's be honest. The outer details seem to be quite crisp. What I did notice on this, particularly on, so this is the back section of the skirt at the bottom. This is the ramp area where he would walk up to go into the back of it, and the front's obviously up here. What I did notice is the panel lines. The panel lines are actually low relief rather than actually embossed into it. So they're not grooves, they're actually bumps, which is interesting because normally when you get a model, you know, aircraft and all these kind of things, it's grooves that's inside it, and you would put a panel wash down the groove, and it would, you know, through capillary action, it would get in all the channels and it would darken that off, create shadow and all that kind of stuff. Don't get that with this, and I'm not complaining actually, because I'm going to be using a panel wash on this anyway. We're going to do it with the old Archive X paints, and it'll be that ILM style of weathering, whatever, and that's just, you know, panel washes aren't a feature of that. That's not to criticise panel washes, I use them quite a lot and I do like them, but that's where we're at. A wee bit of flashing and some minor clean up required around about the edge of the skirt here, but actually overall some nice details on there. They're nice and crisp. Your parts here that almost, what is it, how did it describe, they called them something almost like wee microchips at a time. It's just wee shapes and wee parts of styrene that are stuck on, and then maybe the odd wee other greebly, like you can see some here. They're nice and pronounced. I mean, they're obviously moulded in as part of the actual piece, but in the original model these would have been stuck on individually as greeblies. But these are actually raised and they sit up quite nice. There's the front part of the skirt, again some nice crisp details on there. What have we got here? We have one of the sides. Again, look at the detailing on that. But I did notice, and I'm really glad of, is we've got the pipe work around the side here, which didn't feature in that Revell model that I spoke about before, that I'd done for somebody. There is a panel line here. It's actually quite a deep one. The rest of them are all the sort of, you know, the low relief that I was talking about a minute ago. You've got the wee sort of beveled dome area there for the gun part. So this is one half of the main body of the ship, and there's another half in here somewhere. That's it. So that obviously joins together. I was having a look at it previously. I think there might be a wee bit of farting about required here just to get this going together, but with all the will in the world and a wee bit of perseverance, some styrene cement, and maybe even a wee bit of filler, we will absolutely get there. We will absolutely get there. What we got here, so these are the struts for the wings. These are the inserts for the inside of the wing wells. So goes in the shoulders there, in these parts here. If that makes any sense to you or not. Because I had built that Slave one before, I got to know the wee ship pretty well. And got to know all the sort of parts of it and all the different nooks and crannies. And so that was quite nice actually to having done that. So I now know what I'm looking at, or have a good idea certainly what I'm looking at. And I spent a bit of time studying the reference material of the original ship as well. Now, this is the underside of the skirt. So this is where the engines are. This is that part here. So imagine when landed, it's like so. Comes up right when it's flying. So this is here. We've still got the nozzles, which was one of those melted parts there. The nozzles that we'd insert in here, and of course you've got this part here, which is actually quite nice to see that they've actually moulded in. If you look at the original reference material, if I get a chance, I'll stick a picture in the video. So you'll see that there's halogen bulbs in the original picture. And I've actually moulded that in, which is quite nice. There's a couple of red marks in the bottom of the ship. On the Revell model, this part was just smooth. On this model, they're actually moulded in. Makes it quite easy to paint. What else have we got? The Revell model that I'd built previously, in this section here, there was a, how could I describe it? Just a little rectangular hollow, and that was where the base inserted into. Now, obviously that compromised the overall look of the bottom of the ship, because it's not 100% screen accurate. To be honest, I don't know how much this is exactly screen accurate, but I think certainly they've done a good job of recreating certainly at least some of the details. It looks pretty decent. What else have we got? So obviously you get the section here where the disc, the radar disc goes. That's floating about in here somewhere and on one of the screws. Don't know how I've done it. It's about in here somewhere. Oh, we'll find it. Oh, there it's here. There it's here. On that model I've done previously, it was kind of a wee tiny thing. On this, it's a big bugger. Alright, so that obviously would insert in here, and then there's a couple of wee doofers that come out either side of it, and we'll add them on as well. I think they're floating about in here somewhere. So, yeah, I mean, nothing particularly exciting from that point of view, but for me, it's quite nice to actually sit down and see it. It looks like a fairly decent representation. It's not a screen accurate studio scale model, of course it's not. You know, I think it cost me something like £44 on, pardon me, on Amazon. You know, for 45 quid, really can't argue. It's a decent size wee model. It's not, it's kind of falling into what I'm trying to achieve here is really nicely finished models that aren't too big. You know, not everybody's got the space or the money to buy. I've said this before, not everybody's got the money or the space to buy studio scale models, and so it allows people an opportunity to possibly own something that's of that ilk, but not quite there in terms of either whether they've not got the space and or the financial backing to actually, I mean, you know, there's not many of us in this world who could shell out 2-3 grand on a model and not think twice about it. I'd love to be able to. I'm just not in that position to do that. And so, I want to do my bit by helping people out and give them a chance to maybe get something for their collection at a better rate. So that's where we're at. Moving on, I'll start building this once the bench is actually cleared a bit and tidied, and this place is a bit more organised. And the other thing is, of course, we've got 2 other ships that are ongoing at the moment, the A-Wing and the TIE Fighter. The TIE Fighter's nearly finished. I've got a couple of parts here that I just need to finish painting and they'll get glued on, and then after that I'll move on to the weathering. I don't want to have too many ships ongoing at the one time. I want to clear my decks with that. I've also got that A-Wing there, as I say. The main colours are laid down on that. I've got a few other panels to start masking off and get the colours put down on that, and then weathered as well. So there'll be other videos coming out soon, around about Christmas or just after, featuring them, and then finishing up with this video series, which is going to be obviously building. So the next video that you'll see of this Slave 1 will be me building it, and I'll talk through how easy it is to build it, how easy it was to buy it. Fairly straightforward. That's never really the issue. But then, of course, how easy was it to resolve a problem with the manufacturing issues with it? I've never really heard any complaints about it. Certainly in the reviews that I've seen on Amazon, there wasn't any issues. But it's nice to know that if there is a problem with a model that you're buying, I mean, you know, 45 quid, you know, it's just it's no pocket change. You know, it's still a couple of pound, and you don't want to be spending that kind of money on something and then actually there's bits of it that's damaged and whatever. So, you know, the response for the company and the customer service was absolutely excellent, and I can't fault them at all. I really can't. They were very helpful. They responded to all my questions and they reassured me that it would be dealt with, and the only thing that they couldn't guarantee was how long it would take, but they gave me an estimate of between 2 and like 6 weeks or something, and they definitely delivered on that as well. So yeah, absolutely, I would highly recommend them if you're into building these kind of models. And as I say, then moving on, the next part will be me actually building it, putting it together. So we'll see what complications that we come across and how we tackle that as well. It'll probably be a bit like the AMT battle droid and on his speeder, the start thing. There'll be some issues I expect with joints and, you know, things marrying or not marrying up. You have to expect that with plastic models. It usually always happens, and it's good to actually sit down and talk through and look at how we try and resolve that and make it look like that isn't a plastic model that's been cobbled together. It looks like a miniature of a ship, or if you stand back far enough, it could be a ship in the distance, you know, that kind of thing. And of course, once it's built, we'll get it primed up, and then I'll start talking you through the painting of Slave 1 using ArchiveX paints, what colours I've got, why I chose those particular colours, usually because that's what most people tend to use. That's the kind of the colours that have been, through research, have been identified. Colour placement, dust and misting and weathering techniques and stuff that's used. The Slave 1 model, the original studio scale model, when you look at it, looks like it's got a very, very intricate, highly detailed paint job. It absolutely is, but it's actually not that difficult to achieve. And so again, as I say, I'll talk through that. I done the 1/160. I'd encourage you to go and have a look back at the video. It's only, I think it's a minute and a half long or something, and it's just basically some photographs of the finished Slave one that I'd done. I would encourage you to go and have a quick look at that if you've got the time, just to see what you think of that and look at the paint job. And as I say, that's hopefully what we're aiming to do, or maybe even improve upon that. And as I say, talk through the actual process. In a nutshell, all we do is we build up layers. That's what we do. That's how we achieve the effect that's on Slave 1. We build up layers of paint. But anyway, we'll cover that in more detail once we move on to the actual build. So listen, thanks again for watching this video. Thanks again for listening to me rambling on. I'm hoping in the next year or so, or certainly by this time next year, we'll have moved on leaps and bounds, both in terms of what we're working on, the projects that I'm doing, viewership as well. I'm hoping we'll have some more people watching the channel. So if I've got any friends or people out there that are into this kind of stuff or any kind of modelling, then please get them to have a wee look, a wee like, subscribe. It'd be really helpful. It'd be good to just spread the word a wee bit about some of the things that we do. Okie dokie, thanks again for watching, and I will catch up with you all very soon. Hopefully, as I say, the next video that will drop will be on Christmas Day. Cheers then out, take it easy.